And in our top business story, private wealth in the UAE is projected to post a compound annual growth rate of 14.1% to reach almost $1 trillion in 2020. While private wealth held by ultra-high net worth households in the Emirates is also expected to increase by a staggering 20%. According to the Boston Consulting Group's Global Wealth Report 2016, in the UAE, the growth of private wealth was driven primarily by cash and deposits. Between 2014 and 2015, the amount of wealth held in cash and deposits increased by 16.7% across the nation, compared with 0.7% for bonds and 3.8% for equities. Based on BCG's study, the UAE is set to show solid growth in the next 5 years, with the wealth breakdown anticipated to be 19.2% in equities, 12.1% in cash and deposits, and 4.8% in bonds. According to the report, over the next 5 years, wealth in the Middle East and Africa region is set to reach $11.8 trillion, and the UAE, Saudi Arabia and Kuwait's contribution will account for 22.7% of that sum. In terms of wealth distribution, private wealth held by ultra-high net worth households, classed as those with above $100 million in the UAE, grew slightly by 6.3% in 2015. However, by 2020, private wealth held by this specific segment is expected to increase by a healthy 20%. Interestingly, in the UAE, private wealth held by the lower high net worth individual segment of those with between $1 million and $20 million witnessed the highest growth in 2015. Private wealth in this segment soared by an impressive 13.6% in 2015, and with a projected compound annual growth rate of 16.5% over the next 5 years, this segment will continue to undergo significant growth. Finally, according to the report, the total number of millionaire households of those with more than $1 million in net investable assets in the UAE went up by 8.5% in 2015 and is set to grow by another 7.9% by 2020. The number of institutions using the services of Al Ittihad Credit Bureau doubled during 2015, with a significant increase in credit data inquiries also recorded. The CEO of Al Ittihad Credit Bureau, at its first annual subscriber forum held recently, revealed that the number of subscribers doubled in 2015 to reach a total of 59, whilst the average monthly inquiries tripled in the fourth quarter of 2015 compared to the first quarter of the same year. Bank officials quoted in local reports also stated that the Al Ittihad Credit Bureau has helped banks in better managing the risk-reward equation and can be seen as driving a responsible behavior in the market that is beneficial overall for all participants. In more than 18 months of operations, with more than 6.6 million active facilities in the AECB database, only 1,880 disputes were raised, with 90% of disputes resolved in 10 working days. In terms of the quality of information in its database, officials from the Bureau added that an online data correction tool for data providers has been developed that will enable them to make real-time data corrections to errors in the information sent to AECB, which will further reduce dispute turnaround times and significantly increase the accuracy of data submissions. The latest economic impact assessment report released by Dubai World Trade Center has revealed that the spending associated with large-scale exhibitions, trade events, conventions and conferences hosted at the center in 2015 contributed $12 billion to retained value towards Dubai's economy, equivalent to 3.1% of the Emirates' GDP. The 2015 annual report also focused on the cross-sectoral impact of MICE events, which drive incremental value across tourism, travel, hospitality and entertainment industries, collectively supporting over 80,400 jobs, according to the report. DWTC estimated that the total economic output stood at over 20.9 billion dirhams for the 2015 period, while the study further makes the case that nearly 57% of all the layers of spend generated by these events has been retained within the domestic economy. DWTC led the region's MICE sector activity in 2015, hosting 104 large-scale events that attracted a total of 2.6 million attendees throughout the year. Of those attending, around 1.19 million were from overseas, resulting in nearly 46% international participation at these events. The data also represents significant growth when compared to the first economic impact report published by DWTC in 2011. Defined as events hosting more than 2,000 attendees, large-scale events that form the focus of this study emphasize their importance as being critical pillars to driving economic value, with the report estimating that for every 1 dirham spent at a DWTC event, 5 dirhams in value was created for the wider Dubai economy in 2015. Al Habtoor Group Chairman Khalaf Ahmed Al Habtoor has said that all 3 of the luxury hotels within the hotel collection at Al Habtoor City will be opened by the end of summer. Following the opening of the W Dubai at Al Habtoor City last week and the St. Regis Dubai at the end of last year, the Dubai developer was quoted in local reports as saying that the Western Dubai at Al Habtoor City will open in August. The St. Regis Dubai features 234 rooms, including 51 suites, while the W Dubai Al Habtoor City scales 33 floors, while the Western Dubai Al Habtoor City will comprise 1,004 rooms, including 142 suites. Al Habtoor added, once all the collections are open, Al Habtoor City will add to the many choices for residents and visitors, with the scale of the development described as incredibly rare, not just in Dubai, but also in the world.